We are live once again, back again with some news that you can use. You know, as Chief Eagle Eye, I'm back in the house. Once again, you already know we're gonna keep it rolling. First of all, we're gonna do a disclaimer because we don't own the rights to some of the information that you're gonna hear tonight. Of course, because I'm gonna break it up a little bit so some of y'all could, y'all really can get it. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna start when I really started learning how to use this live stream. I'm starting showing y'all some videos that I got, and I'm gonna let you start hearing a little bit more video, not video, but audio tapes that I have that are pretty ancient. When I say ancient, because when I woke up back 30 years ago, um, basically I did a lot of recording on my little, my little cassette tape, and I got some things I might want. I'm gonna find them tapes so I can share with you. But as we move on, reparations, we want to first discuss the word American and being an African American and how it all began. Like I said, I don't own the rights to this, but this brother gave us some information, some news that we can use. So let's get it on.
In America, a major turning point came in the late 1980s. On this day in 1988, a group of Black leaders, including Reverend Jesse Jackson and representatives from the NAACP, met to discuss the National Black Agenda. It was here that Jackson and his peers catapulted the term African American into the country's lexicon. The term has been used since the 1970s, but never gained widespread acceptance until after this Chicago convention. Reverend Jackson said, "To be called African Americans has cultural integrity. It puts us in our proper historical context. Every ethnic group in this country has a reference to some land base, some historical cultural base. African Americans have hit that level of cultural maturity." Jackson stated that other races could connect their heritage to their mother countries with a sense of pride and acceptance. The term rose to prominence because it was considered more appropriate than Black or colored. But we are now seeing a growth in popularity of the term Black, this time for a different reason. Following George Floyd's murder last year, the New York Times announced it would be capitalizing the B in Black to describe people and cultures of African origin in the US and elsewhere. This is something heavy about the word Black and how we as a people were able to take something meant for our ridicule and turn it into Black power. And that.
Y'all hear that? They said we turned it into Black power. They said that the term Black, it gives you power. You hear that? We're going to see how much power it gives you before we get this video over with tonight. So check this out. We talked about the term American, remember? And we want to know, who's going to receive these reparations, right? Because we got a lot of people out here fighting for reparations today. I see a lot of different groups that are filing lawsuits, and they file them in the name of being an African American. But what's strange to me, being a baby of the 60s, that, in the early 70s, you didn't hear too much of that term, African American. Like you just heard what the brother just said. That was a term that began in the 80s by Reverend Jesse Jackson and the NAACP. Now, if that term began in the 1980s, so what did we call ourselves before that? Because the term African American, just think about it. It connects us to the Bible story of 400 years of somebody being put into slavery and taken across into a strange land. And, it just starts this repetitive story. You know what I mean? If you just go try to read and discover for yourself, that's what went on. It started a story like Roots and Alex Haley. They began a story. It's like Adam and Eve. It's like a story just began. But who are those people? Who were Adam and Eve? Who were the Americans that were here when the Europeans came? Think about it. Who were the people here when the Europeans came? When we were growing up, a lot of us thought it was the Mexicans. But the Mexicans are not indigenous to this land. Some of them may be. And if they are, they came through us. There's just no doubt about it. Because we're indigenous to every single inch of the planet. We were here when there was no one else here. As we gave birth to many different people or races, if you want to call it. Because, of course, we're not in a race. That's why I don't like to even use that term. Because using certain terms, it's just so powerful. It's just like the term African American. I'm going to read to you the term of an American, since some of us want to connect it with an Africa, because I want somebody to show up in the chat somewhere. Show up and prove tonight that we are African Americans. Or did they just, what the brother just said, they had a meeting, they had an agenda to give to us for us to begin calling ourselves African Americans. And we've been calling ourselves that ever since. But Jesse Jackson started it. So let's back up just a little bit and let's ask ourselves what American is. American is no doubt not a native of America. Not. An American has to be an original, an aboriginal. That is the definition in the Webster's Dictionary, the 1828 Webster's Dictionary. Go check it out for yourself. It's the 1828 Webster's Dictionary version, and look up the word American, like I did once somebody pointed it out to me, because I might have just skipped it. And American is like almost in the beginning of the book. And I remember having a Webster's Dictionary in all of schooling. The whole time they were schooling me, all through the 70s when they slammed roots on us. I never checked it out. But it says an American is originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans. Okay. Now that story coincides with the discovery of Columbus in America, right? They said found here by the Europeans. Wasn't Columbus the European? So the copper-colored people that were living here that don't look like the Indians that they call Indians today. I said the copper-colored people of today that look like me are the Americans. That is who Christopher Columbus came to discover here in America. It's just plain and simple. There's no way around it. What are these scholars have been teaching us in all these books for these years? What have they been teaching us? In school, what have they been teaching us in school? I mean, really. They've been indoctrinating us with a story, saying that Christopher Columbus came over here and discovered native people, when he should have said Christopher Columbus discovered the Aboriginal people of this beautiful planet that lived here, where they say were some of them have made this story up about Horus or Jesus being born in the manger, and the grass was green outside in Egypt. The grass was green outside. Y'all know that story was here in America because the pastors are always green around that time. Y'all know what time it is. Don't play games. The game time playing is over, and y'all know we've been indoctrinated. So stop lying to your children. You hear me? Stop lying to your children, because you know for a simple fact that they have been indoctrinated in school the same way that you have. I just read to you the name American, what American means. So if you're of the copper color races, how did you end up an African American? Because they're trying to tie you to some type of land base. Why would you not be tied to the land base here? Why would you not be tied to the land base here in America instead of being tied to Africa? How could you claim? Really, how could you claim any land? Because it's all here to share. But that's a whole nother story to tell. And I'll come back and do that tape one day too. I'll come and put that out there too for you people that think you own something. But like I was saying, there's no way you can be an African and an American at the same time. Either you was born here in America or you was born there in Africa. Because the people in Africa, they ain't fighting for you to come back over there and have your land there. And you have been indoctrinated here to not even want the land that you got here. Do you understand that? So that leads us right up to reparations and who should truly get reparations, because I heard my beautiful sister Bethy speak the other night. Oh boy, she gave it to y'all. She gave some very good information to y'all the other night to show you that everything has been turned around the opposite. If you pay attention, if you want to know, because if you don't want to know, you just don't want to know. It's like you just ignore it's not like you're ignoring the truth. You just ignore what you're hearing. When you know what you're hearing and what you go and see is the same. It's all good. It's your choice to ignore whatever is out there. But reality will set in, and you'll be shown that things are just not the way they were told. They were not. So if we supposed to get reparations, Sister Bethy said, are we going to allow an African American to receive the reparations, which would include the land, of course, in some type of monetary value? I mean, if money really means anything to, because they said the U.S. dollar is going down. So if the U.S. dollar is going down, then if we receive just straight up money, cash, and the U.S. dollar go, then next, what's next? What we gonna do, family? What are we doing to prepare for when the dollar leaves? So, like we saying, reparations. What are we really gonna ask for reparations? Because really, the reparations should go to the people that they discovered. Okay. Now, there are some of us that I would include in that. If they brought you over here on the ship, if you got proof that they brought you over here on the ship and they took your land after they brought you over here on the ship, think about that, okay? It don't add up, right? Because they took your land. So how or why did you come over on a ship when your land was taken? This is what the Bible say. They took you from your land, okay? But I'm telling you that we were already here in this land because they just said that the copper colored people were here in this land, America, where Christopher Columbus discovered us. So we just breaking down the Bible history along with their history to how they're indoctrinated and lied to us in the school to make us believe the religious stories all in one. You see, there's no way in the world that we could be an African American. That term was given to us, I'm going to say it again, by Jesse Jackson. So when you go try to get reparations as an African American, believe that they know you're going to have to prove that. And that's why they gave you that name. And that's why Jesse helped them indoctrinate you with a title of who you were or some type of nationality or gave us a race to be. That's what happened. Jesse gave that to us. That's not who we are. We were the copper colored people that were already here. Some of us might not be. Some of us might be people that were brought over here from somewhere. You came over here some kind of way on some type of voyage. I don't know how you did it, but I mean, when the slave voyage got cracking, why they didn't go to the closest country and grab them? Why did they think that they had to go all the way across the Bering Strait in a sailboat and bring us back and risk themselves coming back when they could have went and got some people closer? Or did they just snatch up the people and kill the people that were already here? See, it's became serious now because now we challenging the history books because it's all over, done. It's time to be revealed. Each and everything that you've been doing to us for over 400 years of indoctrination that you've been giving to us, and our own people been helping. Our own people been capturing us because those are the only ones that communicated with us to be able to lead us into something that we didn't want to be in the first place. We wouldn't have just allowed it. It had to have been somebody that looked like us. Our own people fought against us for them, for what they have right now. So some of y'all are responsible. Some of your families are responsible for what happened. I know you don't like it. You don't want to hear it. Yeah. But let the truth be told. That's why a lot of them families today are still trying to indoctrinate us and keep us voting and keep us going to school. See, y'all still part of them families that want to keep us in their system instead of having our own. Because y'all still part of them. I'm talking about the ones that sold us out in the beginning. Those children of those that sold us out, they still here. We just call them the boule. Steve Coakley called them the boule. Today we call them drifters. Today we call them the same coons they've been called. Sellouts. House Negroes. I mean, it is what it is. It's sad that you would sell out the people that's supposed to look like you. That you would sell them a story. But If you were not part of them, I could see why you could possibly sell them a story because you wanted to capitalize off the same story, the way you capitalizing off the story now with the same religious zealot dogma, the same let's go to the same schools, let's keep buying the same food and just taking on a straight up European lifestyle. You gave up what you had and took on a new garb. That's what we did to fit in because our own people was helping to kill us. That's what it was. It's the same thing going on right now. Our own people helping to kill us. So wake up, family. It's time to wake up and start looking at some of them people out there that really been selling us out for a long time. A lot of politicians been selling us out for a long time. A lot of pastors been selling us out for a long time. A lot of scholars been selling us out for a long time with these fake indoctrinated stories. Now, I got something I heard a little bit earlier when I heard somebody say that you can't have your own tribe. Well, got something international for you. Check this out. The United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. I mean, you can call yourself Indian if you want to. Of course, that was a term that was made up by them and given to us the same way Jesse Jackson gave us African American. We just indigenous people to the earth or the aboriginal people to the earth. That's just who we are. That's what Malcolm said y'all were. That's who Malcolm said we are. We are the aboriginals, the copper colored people of the earth. That's who we are. And we're original all over the planet. We're the first people all over the planet. But check this out. The rights to indigenous people reads, I'm going to give you the exact article. And I believe it's make sure you go check this out for yourself because we don't want nobody to act like we just giving you some type of indoctrinated information. So that's why I'm busting out some notes right off on the indigenous people of the planet. Now, Article 2 of the Indigenous Rights reads that indigenous people and individuals are free and equal to all other people, and individuals have the right to be free from any kind of discrimination in the exercise of their rights, in particular that based on the indigenous origin or identity. Okay? So, with that being said, you as indigenous people have the same rights that everybody in the planet has to share this earth like anybody else has, and can't nobody take that away from you. So, saying that to be said, that you out there that are continuously trying to deny us from being American, or would they say American Indians, or would they say indigenous Americans? Us that believe that you're taking away our land rights as indigenous people by stating that we want to be African Americans as copper colored people. See, you got the wrong label when we're indigenous Americans. that lived here in America that were attacked by a Columbus, found here, and then murdered and slaughtered for over 400 years. That's what y'all presented in your books. I'm just telling you what y'all presented in your books. Since you said it happened. So since all that happened, to those people that were already here, those people that were discovered by Columbus, the reparations should be given, like I said, once again, to those copper-colored people of the Americas that were put into slavery. That land was taken from them. The land that was stolen from them. The people that were murdered and slaughtered on their land. If you want to call yourself an African American, go back to Africa, claim what you want to claim there as part of your land base. Like Jesse tried to attach us to Africa, go on back there, attach yourself to Africa, ask for your land back, and then try to get you some money for where your land, where they took you from. If you say that, go find out where they took you from. Because I didn't find out that they took me from nowhere. I'm from here. So I want my reparations from here. I want my reparations from those that stole my land, murdered my family. I got the evidence. And the only reason why I'm still here is because some of us escaped. As my grandfather put it, when you go running out the back door when the Klan is coming through the front, that's escaping. And that's escaping what? War. Because that's what we were in. See, they didn't want to put it to you like that. When the Klan was coming at you like that, that was an act of war. That was nothing else. And we should have just defended ourselves and killed them off. The same way the Indians are the so-called native people that were doing that at that time that looked like us. Why you think they never crossed? It took them so long to come from up out of the 13 colonies and cross that Mississippi River. Because guess who was waiting on the other side? Before the Trail of Tears. Before they got enough nerve to come with the Trail of Tears and start, like they said, they just murdered us and got some people to help. They got some of our own people to help. And then the Trail of Tears started. You see, that's how it all happened. That's how it all occurred. So when we start talking about reparations, make sure you get your labels right. Make sure you get your races right, if that's who you want to be in a race. Make sure you get your nationality right if you got your nationality. Make sure you got your religious personality right if you're a Muslim or a Christian or whatever you want to call yourself when you're asking for reparations. Are you an Israelite and you're asking for reparations? Make sure your reparations thing say Israelite. Because see, when it says you're Israelite, when it say you're African, when it say that, they're going to tell you they don't owe you nothing. They didn't take your land. So, okay, I guess y'all deserve nothing but the cash, but I don't want just the cash. I want the land and the cash. I want the land, the minerals. I want the cash for resources to start operation now. That's reparations now. You see what I'm saying? That's why that's up on the wall behind me. Because the land that was stolen from us by Columbus should be returned to us because it's theft by receiving, as I said before. And those that are benefiting off of Christopher Columbus' discovery are those receiving benefits from a theft, from a murder, from a slaughter. Just look at the history books. It tells it for himself. And no, Alex Haley, all of us are not part of Roots. All of us didn't grow up in Henning, Tennessee and got that story to tell where our family was brought over here from somewhere. And my family name was Kunta Kinte. All of us didn't come from that family with Chicken George. What about the rest of the people? Where they come from? Did they have land? Was their house stolen? Did they already have a home? Because I got a big question to ask you. When you have people in your family that dress a certain way back in the day, I'm talking about clean. When I say clean, clean brothers. Okay. When I say clean brothers, brothers with them nice suits on, they used to show us on Black Wall Street. Them clean brother suits. I'm talking about when they used to just show us as the elite. I'm talking about this is my great grandfather. If we could, let me see if I can get this picture to show. But if you could see that suit he got on, can you see that suit he got on? Can y'all see that suit? I think it's a little glare. I'm trying to. There it is. Let me see if I can bring it in a little closer now. Let me see. I probably can, but let me get that glare off of it. Okay, if you can see that suit, okay, if you can see the suit, I can't let you see his face because there's a glare on it. But man, I want you to see his suit. Okay, but at this time, just go look at the Black Wall Street and see how they was dressed. Now, they just came out of slavery. I mean, to come up so quick, I think somebody lied to us, y'all. I really think somebody lied to us, y'all. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say it again, family. Don't believe every single thing that you hear. Do not believe every single thing that we have been indoctrinated with. Because I hear a lot of times the white man this and the white man that, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to play the tape once again so you can hear for yourself one more time before we go, because I ain't going to hold you no longer. Because reparations going to be given to the land that was stolen, to the people that the land was stolen from will receive reparations. And Jesse, I just exposed you, homie.
1980s. On this day in 1988, a group of Black leaders, including Reverend Jesse Jackson and representatives from the NAACP, met to discuss the National Black Agenda. It was here that Jackson and his peers catapulted the term African American into the country's lexicon. The term has been used since the 1970s, but never gained widespread acceptance until after this Chicago convention. Reverend Jackson said, to be called African Americans has cultural integrity.
Really?
It puts us in our proper historical context.
Wow.
Every ethnic group in this country has a reference to some land base, some historical cultural base. African Americans have hit that level of cultural maturity.
Wow. You see what I'm saying? And I don't have to say, like they said, say no more. Like the young folks say. Jesse been exposed. He the one that been calling y'all African American all this time. So stop doing it and go read for yourself. Go ask your family where you came from. Go ask your grandma who you are. Because they will tell you. And there are government documents that will tell you where you came from. You ain't got to have a DNA test. I would go for the government documents first. Because some of them DNA tests, I'm going to expose that too one day when they told Oprah she was Zulu. Oprah, I'll let you when you get back from Africa, y'all. But once again, I'm going to always have some news that you could use. It is what it is. And anybody that want to challenge me on this, any of you scholars that think y'all got that y'all problem solvers and you can solve the problem that we got going on right now for them treating us the way they treating us. If you really think you got the answers, you can challenge me. Bring it on, because I want that smoke, because I keep sending smoke signals. But I got that news you can use. So once again, this Chief Eagle Eye. I'm not gonna hold you no longer. I'll be back real soon. Try to keep coming back on a little bit sooner, on and on, day for other day, so that y'all stay informed with some real news and come up out of this indoctrinated bullshit. As we get on up out of here, I'm Chief Eagle Eye with some news you can use. I am Principal Chief of the Okashonoba Chickasaw Nation. You know it. I'm also Chief of Operations for Coosa Nation North America. And guess what? I'm Minister of Defense, but they fear true federal government. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I am what I am. And that's all I am. It's a man. All right. And you just be the beautiful women that y'all are out there and just stand up for yourself, because that's what we got to do today. Do for self. We're going to leave you once again like we came. We love, always to acknowledge the ancestors that came before us, that fought for us. I like to always give thanks to each and every one of them that inspired me to be the person that I am, to give the information that I give, and to be the person that I'm going to always be. Give the truth, justice, and equality to you and me. Much love, family. Peace. And I'm out of here. We're going to leave y'all with a little something. I can't go without leaving y'all with a little something. You know I don't own the rights to this neither, but this is my favorite group, and we just, it is what it is. We keep it live. Let's see here.
Would you like to pay off your mortgage as early as 5 to 7 years
Remember,
without paying extra into the existing mortgage?
I do not own.
They started slave ships.
There are more records of slave ships than one would dream. It seemed inconceivable until you reflected for 200 years ships sailed carrying cargo and slaves.
Non-violent. In the face of the violence that we've been experiencing for the past 400 years, is actually doing our people a disservice. In fact, it's a crime. It's a crime.
I'm out.